chapters 21 through 25 of the book of Deuteronomy. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Mark Penfold. The book of Deuteronomy, from the Young's literal translation of the Bible, translated by Robert Young. Chapter 21. When one is found slain on the ground which Jehovah thy God is giving to thee to possess it, fallen in a field, it is not known who hath smitten him. Then have thine elders and thy judges gone out and measured unto the cities which are round about the slain one. And it hath been, the city which is near unto the slain one, even the elders of that city have taken a heifer of the herd, which hath not been wrought with, which hath not drawn in the yoke. And the elders of that city have brought down the heifer unto a hard valley, which is not tilled nor sown, and have beheaded there the heifer in the valley. And the priests, sons of Levi, have come nigh. For on them hath Jehovah thy God fixed to serve him, and to bless in the name of Jehovah, and by their mouth is every strife, and every stroke. And all the elders of that city who are near unto the slain one do wash their hands over the heifer which is beheaded in the valley. And they have answered and said, Our hands have not shed this blood, and our eyes have not seen. Receive atonement for thy people Israel, whom thou hast ransomed, O Jehovah, and suffer not innocent blood in the midst of thy people Israel, and the blood hath been pardoned to them, and thou dost put away the innocent blood out of thy midst, for thou dost that which is right in the eyes of Jehovah. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and Jehovah thy God hath given them into thy hand, and thou hast taken captive its captivity, and hast seen in the captivity a woman of fair form, and hast delighted in her, and hast taken to thee for a wife, then thou hast brought her in unto the midst of thy household, and she hath shaved her head, and prepared her nails, and turned aside the raiment of her captivity from off her, and hath dwelt in thy house, and bewailed her father and her mother a month of days, and afterwards thou dost go in unto her, and hast married her, and she hath been to thee for a wife. And it hath been, if thou hast not delighted in her, that thou hast sent her away at her desire, and thou dost not at all sell her for money, thou dost not tyrannize over her, because that thou hast humbled her. When a man hath two wives, the one loved and the other hated, and they have borne to him sons, the loved one and the hated one, and the firstborn son hath been to the hated one, then it hath been in the day of his causing his sons to inherit that which he hath, he is not able to declare firstborn the son of the loved one, in the face of the son of the hated one, the firstborn. But the firstborn, son of the hated one, he doth acknowledge, to give to him a double portion of all that is found with him, for he is the beginning of his strength. To him is the right of the firstborn. When a man hath a son apostatizing and rebellious, he is not hearkening to the voice of his father, and to the voice of his mother, and they have chastised him, and he doth not hearken unto them. Then laid hold on him have his father and his mother, and they have brought him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place, and have said unto the elders of his city, Our son, this one, is apostatizing and rebellious, he is not hearkening to our voice, a glutton and drunkard. And all the men of his city have stoned him with stones, and he hath died. And thou hast put away the evil out of thy midst, and all Israel do hear and fear. And when there is in a man a sin, a cause of death, and he hath been put to death, and thou hast hanged him on a tree, his corpse doth not remain on the tree, for thou dost certainly bury him in that day. For a thing lightly esteemed of God is the hanged one, and thou dost not defile thy ground which Jehovah thy God is giving to thee, an inheritance. Chapter 22. Thou dost not see the ox of thy brother or his sheep driven away, and hast hidden thyself from them, thou dost certainly turn them back to thy brother. And if thy brother is not near unto thee, and thou hast not known him, then thou hast removed it unto the midst of thy house, and it hath been with thee till thy brother seek it, and thou hast given it back to him. And so thou dost to his ass, and so thou dost to his garment, and so thou dost to any lost things of thy brother's which is lost by him, and thou hast found it. Thou art not able to hide thyself. Thou dost not see the ass of thy brother, or his ox falling in the way, and hast hid thyself from them. Thou dost certainly raise them up with him. The habiliments of a man are not on a woman, nor doth a man put on the garment of a woman. For the abomination of Jehovah thy God is any one doing these. When a bird's nest cometh before thee in the way, in any tree or on the earth, brood or eggs, and the mother sitting on the brood or on the eggs, thou dost not take the mother with the young ones. Thou dost certainly send away the mother, and the young ones dost take to thyself, so that it is well with thee, and thou hast prolonged days. When thou buildest a new house, then thou hast made a parapet to thy roof, and thou dost not put blood on thy house when one falleth from it. Thou dost not sow thy vineyard with diverse things, lest the fulness of the seed which thou dost sow, and the increase of the vineyard be separated. Thou dost not plow with an ox and with an ass together. Thou dost not put on a mixed cloth, wool and linen together. Fringes thou dost make to thee on the four skirts of thy covering, with which thou dost cover thyself. When a man taketh a wife, and hath gone in unto her, and hated her, and laid against her actions of words, and brought out against her an evil name, and said, This woman I have taken, and I draw near unto her, and I have not found in her tokens of virginity, then hath the father of the damsel and her mother taken and brought out the tokens of virginity of the damsel unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the father of the damsel hath said unto the elders, My daughter I have given to this man for a wife, and he doth hate her. And lo, he hath laid actions of words, saying, I have not found to thy daughter tokens of virginity, and these are the tokens of the virginity of my daughter. And they have spread out the garment before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city have taken the man, and chastise him, and fined him 100 silverlings, and given to the father of the damsel, because he hath brought out an evil name on a virgin of Israel, and she is to him for a wife. He is not able to send her away all his days. And if this thing hath been truth, tokens of virginity have not been found for the damsel, then they have brought out the damsel unto the opening of her father's house, and stoned her have the men of her city with stones, and she hath died. For she hath done folly in Israel, to go a-whoring in her father's house, and thou hast put away the evil thing out of thy midst. When a man is found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they have died, even both of them, the man who is lying with the woman, also the woman. And thou hast put away the evil thing out of Israel. When there is a damsel, a virgin, betrothed to a man, and a man hath found her in a city, and lain with her, then ye have brought them both out unto the gate of that city, and stoned them with stones, and they have died. The damsel, because that she hath not cried, being in a city, and the man, because that he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. And thou hast put away the evil thing out of thy midst. And if in a field the man find the damsel who is betrothed, and the man hath laid hold on her, and lain with her, then hath the man who hath lain with her died alone. And to the damsel thou dost not do anything, the damsel hath no deadly sin. For as a man riseth against his neighbor, and hath murdered him, the life, so is this thing. For in a field he found her, she hath cried, the damsel who is betrothed, and she hath no saviour. When a man findeth a damsel, a virgin who is not betrothed, and hath caught her, and lain with her, and they have been found, then hath the man who is lying with her given to the father of the damsel 50 silverlings, and to him she is for a wife, because that he hath humbled her, he is not able to send her away all his days. A man doth not take his father's wife, nor uncover his father's skirt. Chapter 23. One wounded, bruised, or cut in the member doth not enter into the assembly of Jehovah. A bastard doth not enter into the assembly of Jehovah. Even a 10th generation of him doth not enter into the assembly of Jehovah. An Ammonite and a Moabite doth not enter into the assembly of Jehovah. Even a 10th generation of them doth not enter into the assembly of Jehovah to the age. because that they have not come before you with bread and with water in the way, in your coming out from Egypt, and because he hath hired against thee Balaam son of Beor, of Pethor of Aram Naharaim, to revile thee. And Jehovah thy God hath not been willing to hearken unto Balaam, and Jehovah thy God doth turn for thee the reviling to a blessing, because Jehovah thy God hath loved thee. Thou dost not seek their peace and their good all thy days, to the age. Thou dost not abominate an Edomite, for thy brother he is. Thou dost not abominate an Egyptian, for a sojourner thou hast been in his land. Sons who are begotten of them, a third generation of them doth enter into the assembly of Jehovah. When a camp goeth out against thine enemies, then thou hast kept from every evil thing. When there is in thee a man who is not clean, from an accident at night, then he hath gone out unto the outside of the camp, he doth not come in unto the midst of the camp. And it hath been at the turning of the evening, he doth bathe with water, and at the going in of the sun he doth come in unto the midst of the camp. And a station thou hast at the outside of the camp, and thou hast gone out thither without. And a nail thou hast on thy staff, and it hath been, in thy sitting without, that thou hast digged with it, and turned back, and covered thy filth. For Jehovah thy God is walking up and down in the midst of thy camp to deliver thee, and to give thine enemies before thee, and thy camp hath been holy. And he doth not see in thee the nakedness of anything, and hath turned back from after thee. Thou dost not shut up a servant unto his lord, who is delivered unto thee from his lord. With thee he doth dwell, in thy midst, in the place which he chooseth within one of thy gates, where it is pleasing to him. Thou dost not oppress him. There is not a whore among the daughters of Israel, nor is there a whoremonger among the sons of Israel. Thou dost not bring a gift of a whore, or a price of a dog, into the house of Jehovah thy God, for any vow, for the abomination of Jehovah thy God are even both of them. Thou dost not lend in usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of food, usury of anything which is lent on usury. To a stranger thou mayest lend in usury, and to thy brother thou dost not lend in usury, so that Jehovah thy God doth bless thee in every putting forth of thy hand on the land whither thou goest in to possess it. When thou vowest a vow to Jehovah thy God, thou dost not delay to complete it, for Jehovah thy God doth certainly require it from thee, and it hath been in thee sin. And when thou forbearest to vow, it is not in thee a sin. The produce of thy lips thou dost keep, and hast done it, as thou hast vowed to Jehovah thy God, a free will offering, which thou hast spoken with thy mouth. When thou comest in unto the vineyard of thy neighbor, then thou hast eaten grapes, according to thy desire, thy sufficiency. But into thy vessel thou dost not put any. When thou comest in among the standing corn of thy neighbor, then thou hast plucked the ears with thy hand, but a sickle thou dost not wave over the standing corn of thy neighbor. Chapter 24. When a man doth take a wife, and hath married her, and it hath been, if she doth not find grace in his eyes, for he hath found in her nakedness of anything, and he hath written for her a writing of divorce, and given it into her hand, and sent her out of his house, and she hath gone out of his house, and hath gone and been another man's, and the latter man hath hated her, and written for her a writing of divorce, and given it into her hand, and sent her out of his house, or when the latter man dieth, who hath taken her to himself for a wife, her former husband who sent her away is not able to turn back to take her to be to him for a wife, after that she hath become defiled. For an abomination it is before Jehovah, and thou dost not cause the land to sin which Jehovah thy God is giving to thee, an inheritance. When a man taketh a new wife, he doth not go out into the host, and one doth not pass over unto him for anything. Free he is at his own house 1 year, and hath rejoiced his wife whom he hath taken. None doth take in pledge millstones, and rider, for life it is he is taking in pledge. When a man is found stealing a person of his brethren of the sons of Israel, and hath tyrannized over him, and sold him, then hath that thief died, and thou hast put away the evil thing out of thy midst. Take heed in the plague of leprosy to watch greatly, and to do according to all that the priests the Levites teach you. As I have commanded them, ye observe to do. Remember that which Jehovah thy God hath done to Miriam in the way in your coming out of Egypt. When thou liftest up on thy brother a debt of anything, thou dost not go in unto his house to obtain his pledge. At the outside thou dost stand, and the man on whom thou art lifting it up is bringing out unto thee the pledge at the outside. And if he is a poor man, thou dost not lie down with his pledge. Thou dost certainly give back to him the pledge at the going in of the sun, and he hath lain down in his own raiment, and hath blessed thee, and to thee it is righteousness before Jehovah thy God. Thou dost not oppress a hireling, poor and needy, of thy brethren or of thy sojourner who is in thy land within thy gates. In his day thou dost give his hire, and the sun doth not go in upon it, for he is poor, and unto it he is lifting up his soul, and he doth not cry against thee unto Jehovah, and it hath been in thee sin. Fathers are not put to death for sons, and sons are not put to death for fathers. Each for his own sin they are put to death. Thou dost not turn aside the judgment of a fatherless sojourner, nor take in pledge the garment of a widow. And thou hast remembered that a servant thou hast been in Egypt, and Jehovah thy God doth ransom thee from thence. Therefore I am commanding thee to do this thing. When thou reapest thy harvest in thy field, and hast forgotten a sheaf in a field, thou dost not turn back to take it. To the sojourner, to the fatherless, and to the widow it is, so that Jehovah thy God doth bless thee in all the work of thy hands. When thou beatest thine olive, thou dost not examine the branch behind thee. To the sojourner, to the fatherless, and to the widow it is. When thou cuttest thy vineyard, thou dost not glean behind thee. To the sojourner, to the fatherless, and to the widow it is. And thou hast remembered that a servant thou hast been in the land of Egypt. Therefore I am commanding thee to do this thing. Chapter 25. When there is a strife between men, and they have come nigh unto the judgment, and they have judged, and declared righteous the righteous, and declared wrong the wrongdoer, then it hath come to pass, if the wrongdoer is to be smitten, that the judge hath caused him to fall down, and one hath smitten him in his presence, according to the sufficiency of his wrongdoing, by number. 40 times he doth smite him, he is not adding, lest he is adding to smite him above these many stripes, and thy brother is lightly esteemed in thine eyes. Thou dost not muzzle an ox in its threshing. When brethren dwell together, and one of them hath died, and hath no son, the wife of the dead is not without to a strange man. Her husband's brother doth go in unto her, and hath taken her to him for a wife, and doth perform the duty of her husband's brother. And it hath been, the firstborn which she beareth doth rise for the name of his dead brother, and his name is not wiped away out of Israel. And if the man doth not delight to take his brother's wife, then hath his brother's wife gone up to the gate unto the elders, and said, My husband's brother is refusing to raise up to his brother a name in Israel. He hath not been willing to perform the duty of my husband's brother. And the elders of his city have called for him, and spoken unto him. And he hath stood and said, I have no desire to take her. Then hath his brother's wife drawn nigh unto him before the eyes of the elders, and drawn his shoe from off his foot, and spat in his face, and answered and said, Thus it is done to the man who doth not build up the house of his brother. And his name hath been called in Israel, the house of him whose shoe is drawn off. When men strive together, one with another, and the wife of the one hath drawn near to deliver her husband out of the hand of his smiter, and hath put forth her hand, and laid hold on his secrets, then thou hast cut off her hand, thine eye doth not spare. Thou hast not put in thy bag a stone and a stone, a great and a small. Thou hast not in thy house an ephah and an ephah, a great and a small. Thou hast a stone complete and just, thou hast an ephah complete and just, so that they prolong thy days on the ground which Jehovah thy God is giving to thee. For the abomination of Jehovah thy God is any one doing these things, any one doing iniquity. Remember that which Amalek hath done to thee in the way, in your going out from Egypt, that he hath met thee in the way, and smiteth in all those feeble behind thee, and thou wearied and fatigued, and is not fearing God. And it hath been in Jehovah thy God's giving rest to thee from all thine enemies round about in the land which Jehovah thy God is giving to thee, an inheritance to possess it. Thou dost blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heavens. Thou dost not forget. The end of chapters 21 through 25 of the book of Deuteronomy. Recording by Mark Penfold.